Anthony Adebayo. We off the record.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo. And the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.
Yo.
What's good, man?
Not much. This is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
It's your boy Scotty B, man. How's everything been?
Oh, everything's good. I mean, starting to warm up. It's cold as hell down here, but
yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that's all about. I literally was thinking the same thing.
it's a little chilly down here, but it's cool. I guess before we start, I'm gonna give a shout out to my daughter Mariah. She made the track team for her school. Congrats. Shout out to her. You know, she made it a point to say, let's move this remote control. This one's bothering me. I don't know, it's getting on my nerves. I don't know. But yeah, so she made it known that she didn't quit and that she's in for the long haul. So I was like, all right, cool.
So let me ask you this: is she gonna try to run long distance, or she's more of like a sprinter type?
Well, personally, I don't know what she is, but what she did tell me is that she only ran 2 events, which was the 100 and the 200. So
she's a sprinter. I mean, there you go.
As of right now,
I don't know, man.
We'll see.
Running your family, man. So
I don't know. We'll see. But nah. So shout out to her. I know she was super excited. Mainly because she made the team, and it was so not that disappointment of you know how it is.
Right.
So we'll see how that goes.
So let me ask you, they do cuts at that age, or I thought would track everybody that kind of.
Well, no, for whatever at her school, they have cuts. Cause they have cuts.
So, and maybe this was just like my school district.
I think more high school, you don't.
Yeah.
So what I feel like is they have tryouts, but they're mainly trying you out to see what you can run.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I do know at the middle school level that I have seen cuts, but everybody can't run.
Everybody can't run. Everybody doesn't like to run. That's
that part too.
Yeah, I mean, like if you got pure talent and you're running 100, 200, the 400. I think once you start getting to the 400. That's why I stopped.
Listen, you ain't doing no 400. No, I'll do the 400. 400 is I'm cool with that.
I would.
But anything over a lap,
800 and 16.
It ain't happening. And I was in high school. When I first started running track in high school, my coach, shout out to Coach Winston, literally made me do damn near everything. He's like, we'll figure out what you want. I ran 100, 200, 400. This is all my freshman year. 400, 800, the 400 hurdles, the 110 hurdles. I did all those things. And I was like, I hated all of them except for the 200 and the 400 and one. So pretty much for my freshman year, I ran the 400 hurdles once. And I probably felt like I could do the hurdles, but I just hated it. Yeah,
I was scared.
So I hated it because I was like, man, I'll fall on my face. So one day I did them, like we was at practice and I had a pretty decent practice with the hurdles. I ran pretty well. He put me in the event and I was jumping over them jumps. I was like, I ain't gonna I ran like a 3-minute. Yeah, it was crazy.
My homeboy John, he used to run the hurdles, but he was so fast that he would he had no form.
Right.
He would just jump. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like a picture of you always see that school to where, they just got the 100 guy out there. Just fast.
yeah.
I triple jumped, long jump, and high jump. So that was my thing.
Scott. So so what happened?
What you mean?
Why you stopped jumping?
So it's a crazy story. No. It's not even too bad of a story. I thought about for a second trying out for when I went to state.
Okay.
And just never did it or whatnot. I only did track my senior year.
Mm-hmm.
So the long jump was fairly easy for me.
Right.
The triple jump, unfortunately, it was only like 3 people on my team that could really do it. like it wasn't.
I've never, so when I was in high school, we didn't have triple jump.
You didn't have triple jump?
Mm-mm. It was long jump. It was long jump and high jump and pole vault.
So I couldn't pole vault.
I wouldn't even try.
Yeah, I couldn't pole vault.
No way.
The triple jump, most meets, I would at least place 3rd. Okay. Just off of the simple fact nobody can really do it. And depending, so I used to be able to jump maybe about a 21, 22.
Okay.
Which for where I was at, that was really good. Now, when I got to state, I think they was jumping like maybe 24s, 25. So that's what actually discouraged me from going out there. Because I was like, man, I ain't about to go out there and embarrass myself. But I wish I would have at least tried or whatnot.
Yeah, because I always feel like, shoot, when you see yourself getting better, you're like, damn, I'm all right. And then and when other people see you getting better, and it's like, shoot. And I love track especially in high school, man. I loved it more than basketball. Like I was on the basketball team, and that was cool. But like spring track, especially, like I only ran indoor track my senior year, but spring track, I loved it because you go to the meets, you meet different people, and that's more personable than, like, say, football, right? Football, you're trying to kill somebody on the field, and even after the game, at least back then, you didn't really stay after because it's like unless you already knew the person, you dapped up and then you went on about your way. But for spring track, you're pretty much there from damn near 8 o'clock in the morning to like 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, and it's like, oh, yo, what's up? And then you see the same people at multiple meets, but then then the competition part comes in, and it's like, yo, I'm trying to dog you. You know what I'm saying?
That's how I ended up running my senior year. My
Okay.
homeboy Chris, shout out to Chris. So my friend John, he was like #1 in Europe and 100, 200. But Chris, he had ran our junior year. He was like, look, Scott, when you go to the pit, because our track coach was heavily focused. They were the cross country coaches too. Okay. So they would go out and run them, and he'd be like, yo, all we got to do is just sit at the pit. He was like, yo, you got the girls soccer team that's right there. He was like, yo, we could travel with the team. And he was like, yo, you go to the track meet. He was like, yo, with the long jump, the way it worked, like you can just go out there, jump once, see if people will kind of like get close to you or whatnot. And you can chill out pretty much all track meet. Yeah. You can go around.
And you wasn't running. Yeah. So
you just go around, talk to everybody, just mess around. And we do the same thing for the high jump. I stunk. But I would look where the bar was. You know what I mean? Right. So once if the bar got to about 6'4", I already knew I couldn't clear the joint. Right. So I was like, all right, I ain't even got to jump. Right. So I go out there, triple jump once, long jump. It was a dude named Greg Pope. Every meet he was at, he took first. So
everybody's fighting for second.
So what he would do is he would make sure he was the first one to jump. And like he jumped like a 24, 25 and just be like, hey, y'all want second, you can go ahead and just do your. So again, he always, I don't think I ever placed first. So it was either second or third, depending on where he was at or what person. Nah, it was wild, man. But yeah, he dominated triple jump and he dominated long jump. Crazy, long-winded story, but I didn't know you ran track, and you probably didn't even know.
Yeah. I ran track all 4 years.
Wow.
Ironically, that's the only sport I played all 4 years. I didn't play football my junior year. So y'all do, make sure you do your schoolwork because it'll catch up with you. So I couldn't. I played the first game of the season, and so I did everything I was supposed to do after I didn't do everything I was supposed to do. If that makes sense. So me and my coach went to the guidance counselor. Asked, is it okay if I go? Because my school didn't have summer school, so he taught at a different school in Newark. So he would come. He would pick me up to go to school for summer school. I was there the whole summer, taking I want to say it was biology or whatever it was I took. And I get to I passed. I did everything I was supposed to do. Played in the first game. I had like 11, 12 tackles, 2 sacks. I mean, it was crazy. We lost. Yeah, but I was a starter and everything. That Monday come, like Anthony, come here. I'm like, what? Because the JV is I was like, I know they're not about to have me play JV or whatever. So JV games was on Monday. So I went. He was like, yeah, they said you ineligible. And my heart sunk. I was like, are you kidding me? Did you see the game I had? Is there anything we could do? Nope. So what ended up happening was I ended up pretty much just practicing the whole season, right? So I'm literally a starter my junior year, but I could only practice. So I was pretty much on the scout team the whole season. And I was like, I did it because I was like, I ain't got nothing else to do. Because I'm like, all I know is do my homework, play football. That was it. So then, I mean, I was dominating too. Like, I mean, because I was, better than the guy. So it was just like, damn. So I mean, it was still fun. I still had fun that year. But then, the team. I'm not saying this because I didn't play, but we weren't that good, and it was. I'll leave that part alone. But we ended up. My senior year, of course, we went to the playoffs. That was first time in like 15 years at that time. But yeah, man, y'all gotta do y'all schoolwork, man, because it's so much, especially now. Like it's so easy for these kids. It's just crazy to say, but I mean, the teachers, the way the schooling is now, they can miss assignments the whole marking period and hand it in at the end. They won't even get deducted points. Remember back in the day, if you handed in an assignment late, you're not getting an A. That's an A is out the question. They go literally go. These kids literally go from a D to an A in one day.
Oh yeah. Now we used to do, and I guess I'll wrap this up. But we used to do weekly progress reports. You had to have a teacher sign off on it.
Yep.
Before you played. But anyway, first day. I don't want to say the NFL season, but the NFL year.
Yeah. So it was the unofficial. It was the legal tampering. Well, today's the first day but Monday was like the legal tampering, and that's where you got. It was getting active. They were getting active.
What is the biggest surprise?
Surprise?
Yeah, surprise.
Biggest surprise. So I don't know if it's necessarily a surprise, but I think Justin Fields going to the Jets. I think that was somewhat of a surprise. I didn't know if he was going to go back to Pittsburgh, but as it was getting closer to Monday, it really seemed like I don't think he's going back to Pittsburgh. I know they had him and Russell Wilson, and neither one of them going back to Pittsburgh. So I think that him going to the Jets. I mean, as far I think there were surprises team-wise that really surprised me more. I know before we even got to Monday, Debo, we didn't get to talk about it, but Debo going to Washington, and it didn't really move the needle. I understand the excitement for like some Washington fans is another big name, but I think with Washington, I think getting Tunsil is a bigger move than getting Debo Samuel.
Yeah, now they've had a quietly.
I don't know if that quiet.
Well, not quiet, but they've had a good couple of days. I was surprised. So one of the surprises was like Houston kind of blowing up their offensive line.
Right.
I was very surprised with that, especially, you've got this third-year quarterback and, you give up the guy that protects his blind side. So I was a little shocked by that. I'm extremely shocked that everybody is waiting to see where Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson land. Like I was shocked that the interest, like with Minnesota wanting to bring him in, and Pittsburgh wanting to bring in Aaron Rodgers.
Well, I think he's gonna go to Pittsburgh, though.
You think he's going to Pittsburgh?
I think that's pretty much a done deal. I will say this. I don't think Aaron Rodgers was as bad as people made it seem last year. I think that if you look at his numbers, and I know everything's not all on the numbers, but if you look at his numbers, I mean, they are because he's Aaron Rodgers, it looks like an off year, but they're pretty solid numbers for a starting quarterback. And then I feel like towards the end of the year, he started playing really well, but I mean, it was a little too late. Too late.
And it was a lot of pressure because what hampered his year was everything that went on off the field.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it had to do with, so you had the coach, and a lot of people say that he had to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got like Nathaniel Hackett, like that whole debacle when, him bringing in all the players, getting Devontae Adams at the last minute. So I think that really took away from his year. However, yeah, he probably does have maybe a year left, but I'm surprised at how many teams are really.
It's interesting. I mean, I guess he built up equity. He built up equity.
You know what? We'll still take Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Forget what you think you saw with the Jets. He's got some interest. The other one that I'm surprised that has a lot of interest too is like Kirk Cousins. Like people are like,
I don't think Kirk Cousins is going anywhere. I think that I know he wants to leave Atlanta for obvious reasons, but I think that the Falcons are gonna play hardball. They're like, we paying you all this money, you gonna sit there and shut up and play quarterback
as he should. I think that he hurt himself a lot. I don't know if you heard this. He kind of came out and said that he was hurt last year, and that's why his performance was the way that it was. And I think that he still feels that he's the best man of the job and he should have the opportunity to start.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're Atlanta, you just have to look at it like, okay, we gave you every opportunity. You stunk toward the end of the year. I mean, he looked bad toward the end of the year. For me personally, if I'm Atlanta, I start Penix and I keep him on the bench and wait for a team to get desperate, because one is going to get desperate. Whether it's training camp, the first couple of weeks, somebody is going to need a quarterback.
Yep.
And I just stall out everybody, and then I trade them to the highest bidder once somebody gets desperate. I wouldn't be in a rush to get a deal done.
I mean, now the draft is coming up in a month, so maybe somebody wants to move up, or they trying to move up, and somebody needs a quarterback. Because supposedly this is a weak quarterback draft class, and I personally don't think so. I think that. Well, I will talk about that later, but somebody may say, well, we'll take a Kirk Cousins because we can't get the guy that we necessarily want in this draft, and let's make a deal, or like you said, somebody gets desperate in during the season. I personally I would trade them and get what you could get from them, get as much value as you can from them, whether it's draft capital or another player at a different position that you may possibly need or want, and go from there. But right now, they don't have to do anything. They could chill. I wouldn't. I mean, if or have a feeling that you're gonna move them, I would still pick up the phone and listen to offers. But I'm not taking no BS offer, and I'm not no. We gave him this money, and shoot, it is what it is. He gotta compete. You gotta compete. Now you may not get a fair shake, but let's be real. I mean, you've made a ton of money. You've gotten a ton of fair shakes. Maybe some that you shouldn't have even got. So we'll see. DK to the Steelers.
I mean, so here's where I'm at with that. Right?
Okay.
I like the move,
Mm-hmm.
but if they don't have nobody throwing them the football,
could you imagine adding Aaron Rodgers to George Pickens and DK Metcalf? Now, here's the thing. This could be one of the greatest moves in the history of the league because those three guys have talent, right? Or this could be a complete disaster.
So what I get nervous about is Mike Tomlin with Aaron Rodgers. Now,
Yeah,
Mike Tomlin runs a tight ship.
he does.
Aaron Rodgers, kind of a free spirit. And, he's an older veteran. Are you going to buy into the Tomlin way? Like how is Tomlin going to coach Aaron Rodgers? Because are you going to...
Does anybody coach Aaron Rodgers at this point?
But exactly. So you look at history, right?
Mm-hmm.
His coaches over time, when he first got them, they were relatively inexperienced coaches. Like Mike McCarthy, I believe, in 2007, 2008, he might have been in his second year. Then you look at Matt LaFleur.
Mm-hmm.
He got him. He was a first-time coach.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Saleh, he was in his second year.
Second, third year, yeah.
Tomlin, at this point, it feels like he's been coaching 20 years.
It's close. I think
that's exaggeration.
17,
but
no, I mean, it's close. 17, 18 years,
Yeah, so well-established coach. He's won a Super Bowl, lost one to Aaron Rodgers. But, he runs a tight locker room to where he holds guys accountable. He wants
that would be an interesting relationship. That I personally think that the Steelers should draft. If the Steelers could find a way to draft somebody like Dart, which I know I've said he reminds me of Kenny Pickett, but he's better than Kenny Pickett. But the only reason why I say that is because he was with what's his college coach name? At Ole Miss. But I mean,
not McDaniel.
But ultimately he Kiffin, was Lane Kiffin. Yeah. So and Lane Kiffin is a damn near offensive genius, right? So I mean, it's easy to throw the wide open guys all the time. Those windows aren't as big in the NFL, so it's gonna be crazy. I personally wouldn't draft Dart, but I mean he's gonna be a first round pick. So who's gonna get him? So again, I think that A-Rod's pick, which I feel like that's where he's going. A lot of Pittsburgh fans don't want to hear that, but I mean that's gonna be your quarterback next year. And you know what? At this point, it should be. Look at the quarterbacks you've had since Big Ben has retired. You can't get Aaron Rodgers ain't a bad choice considering what you have had.
So let me ask you this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he's a better fit in Minnesota or Pittsburgh? Because
he won't go to Minnesota. This is why he won't go to Minnesota. Listen, if he goes to Minnesota and literally follows the Brett Favre career plan, he can't go to Minnesota. If he goes to
because I mean, think about throwing to Justin Jefferson, Addison, Hockenson. You have a really dominant offensive line. You have an offense that...
What you call is coming back too, the running back, Aaron Jones.
Yeah, Aaron Jones, you played with him, so you've got some familiarity with that. You're playing in an offense that's semi-familiar. It makes more sense. And you may be able to get along with the coach.
But is he gonna mentor JJ McCarthy? Because now
he mentored Zach Wilson.
Yeah, look at where that got him. Zach Wilson was cooked before Aaron Rodgers even got there.
So that's the issue, right? So I felt like watching at a distance, Aaron Rodgers was doing everything he could to help Zach Wilson. But I feel like the Jets did him a huge disservice by drafting him. I don't think that he was ever ready to giving over the reins. Like literally, I remember watching that draft or that coverage, and I was like, why is this guy going second? And they kept saying like he's got a strong arm and he's got touch. And you go back and you look at that BYU team, and I mean, they were he put up good numbers, but it wasn't like, okay, this is who we should build our franchise around.
So I could see, not saying this is going to happen, but I could see Zach Wilson in like 3 more seasons being a really good quarterback. Kind of like the Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, anybody that was drafted by the Jets. I mean, any quarterback that was drafted by the Jets, you stink as a rookie or in your next 2 years after that. And then you leave and you become all pro. Or a Pro Bowler. So, I mean, I think he's somebody that needed time to develop, like some other quarterbacks. So I don't know, man. You make good points with Aaron Rodgers going to Minnesota because, Lord, they got weapons.
Yeah, I mean,
are they a quarterback? So you think they're just a quarterback away?
So imagine you got Sam Darnold, right?
Right.
And he had a good season, and congratulations to him. Shout out to him. He'll be in Seattle. Another similar offense. I think it's a good fit, but it's Sam Darnold, and I get it, right? Like he had a good season, but you got Aaron Rodgers, who you admitted that numbers didn't look that bad. And if you compound the fact that he was playing with a terrible offensive line,
that is
total chaos, and you put him in really a quarterback away team.
So the only thing stopping Aaron Rodgers from going to Minnesota is the shadow or the ghost of Brett Favre.
Yeah, but I don't think he cares. I think he probably looks at it. I mean, if you take it a step further, Brett Favre started his career in Atlanta. So it's So I guess it is.
I mean, yeah, okay. So I mean, this is where the similarity comes in regards to that. Not necessarily the same thing, but Aaron Rodgers thought he was going to be a top 2-3 pick. He ain't go to like the mid-20s or the upper 20s. So that could be the equivalent of being in Atlanta for a year and a half or whatever. I mean, he was in Atlanta for a couple years and got traded to matter of fact, he got traded. No, Holmgren was in San Francisco. Holmgren was never in Atlanta, right? I don't think so.
No.
Holmgren was in San Francisco. Yeah. So nonetheless, I think that Aaron Rodgers, I think he's going to Pittsburgh. You think he's going to Minnesota?
I think if I was Aaron Rodgers, I would go to Minnesota. I wouldn't go to Pittsburgh.
So where do you think he's going? I mean, because literally the ball is in his court.
I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't make a decision.
I don't care about you. Make the decision.
So if I was going to make the decision, he should go to Minnesota. But it's interesting, right? Because it looks like Russell Wilson is trying to beat him to the punch.
But he's going to Cleveland tomorrow.
He's going to Cleveland, which I think that'd be a terrible idea for both.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say that. But I don't know. So we had a bunch of Giants talk earlier, and they need a quarterback. Do they get one of these free agent quarterbacks and draft a guy, or do they just draft a guy and go from there? Because the two may not be there. Cam Mitchell may not be available at 3. I don't think they're going to be available at 3.
So do they still? They only signed Drew Lock to a 1-year deal, right? Last year.
Yeah.
So he's gone.
They don't have a quarterback on their roster.
Right. So the potential's out there. You still got Kirk Cousins, like we mentioned. You got Russell Wilson. You got Aaron Rodgers. And I feel like it's one more veteran that's out there that it's got to be one more that we're not talking about. I think personally, if they take Cam Ward or Shador, they need to start them. I don't think they need to sit them. I think they need to just start them and just let them learn.
Wow.
Yeah.
They didn't do that to Eli.
I think that team, they're going to need some sort of light. And I think if you bring in one of those quarterbacks, you already kind of know like what you're getting. Like you don't, like it's not, like you put Russell Wilson in a Giants uniform. Like it's just,
I wouldn't want to see that.
yeah, I don't think anybody wants to see that.
You know, the rumor is that they getting Jameis Winston. I like that move. I honestly think that's he's a good bridge quarterback.
Jameis had a good year. His receivers had, I mean, Jerry Jeudy, I mean, he started playing well toward the end of the year having Jameis. I like Jameis in the Giants uniform. Okay, somebody said Mensah.
Let's keep it moving.
But he's a bridge quarterback, right? So no. But to your point, right? If you draft one of these guys, because like look at the situation. Okay, so you got me thinking, right?
I don't think you can say who has Minshew helped get better.
No, he hasn't helped. But think about it like this, right? Look at this whole Anthony Richardson situation, right? The Colts. On get on a soapbox here, right?
The floor is yours.
Yo, the Colts is like, I don't want to say. All right, so they signed Daniel Jones, right?
They did.
And they signed Daniel Jones to compete with Anthony Richardson. So I pray to God that Anthony Richardson could beat out Daniel Jones. And I know Giants fans love Daniel Jones. And I'll be honest, I never saw it. I never felt.
Well, you being serious?
What?
Man, Giants fans hate him.
It's a lot of them that like was Danny Dimes fans for a while, man. I mean, they would give him. He got a lot of passes with that. But I look at the Colts, right? So it seems like every year they run the same play, right? Whether it's Nick Foles, whether it's Phillip Rivers, whether it's Matt Ryan, whether it's Danny Dimes, and I'm sure there's some Gardner Minshew. I'm sure there's somebody.
Jesus Christ.
Like,
all of it, and mind, this is just since Andrew Luck left.
Yeah, this is just since Andrew Luck. So every year they get some guy that is, I don't want to say it has been, but they're at the end of their, like, it wouldn't surprise me if the Colts traded for Kirk Cousins. You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
They get and all those guys are very similar style, like quarterbacks, right? And it just feels like they do this every year. And because they get them like one step late, like they're constantly having.
Wait, did they have what's his name from that played for the Browns and the Ravens? Flacco? They had Flacco, right?
I'm about to say, it's like literally like the
same. Oh my gosh.
Like
that's the same. Yeah, no. You're absolutely right. So
I mean, Danny Dimes really honestly shouldn't be in the same sentence as maybe Gardner Minshew.
No, he shouldn't be in the same sentence.
Not, but that's the only one that he's probably comparable.
So, well, I'll say this. Gardner Minshew, he's not that bad. I was being a little extra, but I think that I wouldn't just close the book on Daniel Jones just yet, right? I mean, was he picked too high? Clearly, right? But I think that he may have some time to develop with Steichen in Indianapolis. He could possibly he helped Jalen Hurts. He elevated Jalen Hurts, actually got him to a Super Bowl. So I mean, if you want to be technical, Daniel Jones and Jalen Hurts have pretty similar styles. Now Jalen Hurts' style is a little better. I mean, he's just a better quarterback.
No, they're both
mobile.
Yeah,
they're both mobile. I mean, if the guy's open, he can throw it. I mean, Jalen Hurts ain't throwing nobody open right now. I mean, I think he's gotten better in his accuracy and his passing the last couple of years. But I wouldn't close the book on Daniel Jones just yet. Now, okay, Anthony Richardson.
Coach, I got a question for you. I got a question for you because I want you to put your coach hat.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So you just outlined Daniel Jones is he's got a lot to recoup his career, right? He's got a lot to prove to go out there and still say that he can play football.
Mm-hmm.
You got Anthony Richardson that's teetering. I don't want to say bust, but he's teetering.
I think it's the coach's fault, but yeah. They're the ones that allowing him to keep on getting
half
hurt.
the games.
Right,
he's been in the NFL.
He keeps getting hurt.
He showed flashes, but he hasn't played at a consistent level.
Correct.
So going into training camp, you have both guys on your roster. Who's your starter?
Oh, God.
Before you even see them play,
I got to go with the guy that's been there. I'll go with Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson is right now is QB1. But Daniel Jones has a chance to compete, and we see how it goes in camp. Or off season and then camp.
So you know what I do? I make Daniel Jones the starter, and I make Anthony Richardson prove that he can compete. I think that he may have gotten the keys to the franchise a little bit early, and I got to see how he deals with adversity because let's not forget last year he had that issue to where he tapped himself out, and he lost a lot of respect in that locker room.
That is true.
And really what I need to see from him if I'm his coach is where's your heart at? Can you compete? And can you inspire the guys? Because I think you lost a lot of trust because they don't feel like for whatever reason, he gives them the best chance to win. And last year, they had a pretty good team aside from quarterback play. It was just I think the plug finally got pulled on Joe Flacco to where it was like, okay, yeah, this ain't the Browns last year, but
I would say this. Everything you said about Anthony Richardson, aside from the tapping out, it's the same as Daniel Jones. So why maybe he was given the keys too soon, and they paid him, but again, maybe he was given the keys too soon. And he wasn't ready to lead a team. So is he ready to lead a team right now? I don't know. It's gonna be. I think they both have something to prove. So that's another reason why I'm saying don't just close the book on Daniel Jones just yet. And again, I am not defending Daniel Jones. All I'm saying is we're in a microwave type world right now where everybody wants everything just so quick. Right, just look at it. CJ Stroud. This time last year, everybody was saying he was a top 5 quarterback in the league. Right, he had a great rookie season, and that was great. He had a great rookie season, but he came back. Yes, he won a division his sophomore year, but it wasn't that great. The team, kind of to me, they look like they regressed. But again, it's just a sophomore year. Everybody's saying Jaden Daniels has had the greatest rookie season ever for a quarterback. He is the greatest rookie. He almost made it to the Super Bowl. All of these things. And yes, the Commanders are getting adding weapons and adding pieces, but there's film on Jaden Daniels and rookies. I mean, quarterbacks' second years are normally their toughest season because they have to adjust to people knowing what the hell they're gonna do. So I would say let's not jump to conclusions yet, right? That I still think there's time for CJ Stroud to be a top 5, top 3 quarterback in the league. Can he be? I think he can. I think he has the talent to. Same with Jaden Daniels, but I think we should let things play out.
But you know, one thing that you said that sticks out, right, about that scenario for all 3 guys. All the guys that you named demonstrated some sort of flash, and what the organization did was they went out and they surrounded them with talent. So you look at like Jalen Hurts. I mean, arguably, I'd say he had probably the most talent.
Arguably, I don't think there's an argument. I think
I
it's not even close.
In my opinion, like you look at the weapons that he had, and that's not his fault. I'm not.
Oh no. Yeah.
I'm just praising like the Eagles for like they made sure like he had the right offensive line, he had weapons to throw to. They went out, they got him a running back. He had we had solid defense. Like one of the top.
They had the best defense in the league.
Top defense, now I'm thinking about it, right? So that helps with development, right?
Yeah.
You look at CJ Stroud. Okay, he had a good rookie season, but what did the Texans go out and do? They went out and got Diggs. They went out and got Mixon. They went out to try to get them a whole bunch of pieces to be successful.
Right, and this is the time to do it. This is the time
and
to
you're
do
watching it with the Commanders. I think with the Giants, I never personally saw the potential that if the Giants gave him that level of weapons, it was going to result in a Super Bowl or any of that type of stuff.
Something close to it.
Yeah, something close to that. I feel personally that you're going to laugh when I say this.
Oh, God.
And a lot of people aren't going to like this comparison.
Okay.
I saw a poor man's Alex Smith and Daniel Dimes.
Oh,
he reminded me of Alex Smith.
Oh, man.
And
why are we doing this?
I'm dead serious.
Alex Smith is a good guy, man.
Alex Smith is a great guy, and I can admit that now. But he had limitations. And Danny Dimes, he's not, in my opinion, both guys, they can manage the game, which there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
They cannot. They don't necessarily have to turn the ball over for you, but they're not ever going to be Drew Brees. They're not ever going to be Joe Burrows. They're not ever going to be those guys that are going to go out there every day and give you 300 yards passing and 3 touchdowns or 2 touchdowns breathing. And you have to set the team up to run from that. And how do you set a guy up like that for success? Well, you build a defense, build them an offensive line, and you play smart football. You build them a running back. You give them a running back, and you give them an offensive line. So the Colts are constructed that way, and maybe they feel like that this is the piece that they need. And we'll see. But yeah, I personally, after all that I said, I probably would start him and make Anthony Richardson work a little bit, because those guys on that coach staff, they're coaching for their jobs.
Absolutely.
And, to sit there and run with this experiment, they may not be there to play out this experiment. So that's what I would do.
Yeah. So, I mean, and we'll see. Camp is in a few weeks. So again, I mean, the NFL has a lot going on. I mean, our teams are, well, yeah, we could talk about the foot, like, and we don't have to stay here long. How you feeling, man? Because I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to tell you who y'all look like y'all about to be next year. The Bears. The old Bears.
So this is how I'm feeling.
Oh shit.
I understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I saw what was going on,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought last year was going to be the year. I think the front office came into the realization that our championship window has closed, and now we need to figure out how to retool.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I like some of the moves because we had to do it. Like if you go back and you look, we had the last 4 or 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
we've been top 5 in payroll.
So it's time to cut some of the fat.
Well, this is what happens when you're top 5 in payroll and you don't win at all, right? You know what I mean? And I think like we lived a good dream. No, I mean, I was happy. I wish we would have won the Super Bowl, but the reality is you can't keep paying everybody and be top 5 in salary and not have the result of winning a Super Bowl. Eventually, you have to figure out how to get younger and get guys in key positions. So last year, where it caught up with us is everybody got
hurt.
old. They got hurt.
Yeah.
They got old and they got hurt at the same time.
Yeah.
And the chemistry was just never right, man. You had multiple holdouts. You had multiple people fighting for money. Like you didn't get anybody into camp. You didn't really have like young guys. Like, and you're paying all these guys, and that window was just it shrunk on us.
Well,
it's a tough feeling, man.
I'm gonna tell you who don't feel sorry for you.
Oh, I know you don't.
Oh no. Listen. When I saw yesterday that was it the day before yesterday that Denver got Hufanga and Greenlaw, I said, wait a minute, what is happening? Then you already knew about Debo. I said, it's no way they're about to give the quarterback, Purdy, there's no way he's getting 55, 60 million. I'm at the point thinking that he may get 45. Like 45, anywhere between 40 and 50. He's definitely not getting 60, and I'm like, to me, I think it is kind of messed up because it's like, I mean, he went to the NFC Championship as a rookie, went to the Super Bowl his sophomore year. His third year, all his friends got hurt, for the most part. And then, like you said, it was real noisy. It was a real noise. I mean, the Trent Williams is old. He's but then guys like Debo, Debo and Ayuk both got hurt. Shoot, Christian McCaffrey was hurt last year for most of the year. George Kittle was there pretty much the whole year. But you look at it, you guys are down to like your 4th or 5th running back. Who in the world is going to win like that? It don't matter who you are. If Patrick Mahomes had those many people missing, it still wouldn't look the same. It's not going to look the same. You got guys y'all had a guy that started that was on somebody else's practice squad and ended up, he was a linebacker. What is his name? I forget his name. And then I didn't even re-sign him. Y'all got rid of him too. I said, oh my God.
Yeah, it's a cold world out there.
It's crazy.
But the bright side is we have 4 picks in the top 100. We got 10 draft picks. That's enough.
I thought it was 12. It's 12.
Well,
it's 12.
It
It's
might
12.
be 12 with the compensation picks. But yeah, man, look, so we got.
It's gonna be a rough year, man.
So I think we could still be competitive with the Rams.
You're gonna be competitive. You have a good coach. You got a good quarterback,
and we still got a good core. So this is what's going to happen, right? McCaffrey is an unknown.
This is last year in San Francisco.
Yeah, but he's an unknown as far as if he's going to come back healthy. Still got Kittle, but he's getting up there.
Yeah, Kittle's like 28.
Yeah, but he's getting up there. You got Trent Williams, which he's got to be 50 by now. But still playing at a high level. We'll still take him. But yeah, man. Yeah,
it's good times, man.
Yeah, I mean, but eventually, like I said, I saw it last year with all the injuries. I was like, yeah, we have to do something. There's no way you could pay all these guys and still like win. So at some point, you have to reset.
And that's what the Rams reset. I mean, they won that Super Bowl. I mean, most of those guys now aren't even they aren't there. I mean, and you know, but they drafted amazingly. They're like, I mean, their oldest player on defense might be 25, maybe 26. I mean, on offense, they, you know, Kyron Williams is a dog. Puka, they released Cooper Kupp. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's why I'm picking to win the division. The Rams. I think that's a safe bet. You don't have to agree. And
no,
I know
no. I think that's a safe bet. I mean, I think Seattle takes a step back. I mean, Arizona's going to be Arizona. Like I said, I think we can compete with the Rams, but I think they're right now with everybody that we lost. That's who we got to look at. So it's going to be interesting to see who we draft. I always feel like we draft really good too. I think Brock Purdy, we need to pay him.
He's gonna be all right. I think he's gonna sign his deal. Hopefully, it's not the day of the first game. That would hopefully that's not what happens. I'm not mad at the Cowboys. At this point, I am pretty much numb to I don't expect to get now here's the thing. I wouldn't say this is like a great free agency class. I think there's some pieces that's there, but I wouldn't call it like great. We've seen some other ones, but they just made a trade for Kenneth Murray, the linebacker that he was with Tennessee, and if I'm not mistaken, Kenneth Murray went to Oklahoma. I want to say he played with CeeDee Lamb at Oklahoma. But anyway, I feel like last year, I'm not going to say a throwaway year, right? Once Dak got hurt, the season was thrown away, but there was no running game. Now, I will say this. Picked up Williams, right? Got him for like a 1-year, $3 million deal. I was just talking to somebody yesterday, and I said, I'm not mad at that deal because if he finds a way to stay healthy, and let's just say
it's a good bet.
Yeah. If he stays healthy and plays the full season, that is a steal. I mean, will he get 1,000 yards? I don't know. But let's just say he gets 9 and some change, and then we have another back that gets.
I think he's capable of breaking 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
I think in Denver, this is just my opinion. I always feel like Denver was in a run by committee timeshare deal to where I'm trying to think, it was a Charger running back that he was with before. What's that guy's name? Was it Melvin
Gordon?
And then like it was another running back that he was splitting time
because he had got hurt because he killed the Cowboys his rookie year. I'll never forget.
Oh yeah, but he was in that time.
And then he got hurt. Yeah,
he got hurt. They brought in somebody new, and then like I believe like Sean Payton, which he always does that. Like he always keeps running back by committees. He's gonna have a speedster. I think it was like McLaughlin or something like that.
Yeah,
and he has somebody else.
Right.
So as the feature back, I think he might be all right. He could be all right.
It might be in a timeshare again. So, I mean, but again, for $3 million, that's a steal. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's a steal. So, I mean, I'm like, just sign Micah because the thing is, you could save even more money. You had CD and Dak restructure, which gave you about $48 million. You sign Micah Parsons, Once he signs that extension, we actually gonna have more money on the cap. So, like, make it happen. Like, go get. Like, I was like, would Amari Cooper want to come back to Dallas? I definitely don't want Stephon Diggs, but I just got the feeling we're gonna get Stephon Diggs, and I'm like, God, I don't want Stephon Diggs on the team. I mean, if it was 2 years ago, I was like, all right, but now it's like,
man, Stephon Diggs is a wild boy, man. Wow, boy.
I don't know why they want to do this to me, but again, like I said, at this point, I'm just immune to the foolishness known as the Dallas Cowboys. So, yeah. So we'll see. I probably still pick them to win the division. No, I'm joking. I'm kidding. So, all right. Well, before we get up out of here, I did want to. So this is the opening weekend with the Royals. We got our first game on Saturday.
Where at?
In Baltimore, Randallstown High School. So we got our first game, and I'm excited, man. I think that
come check y'all out, man.
I feel like this is, out of all the years I've owned the Royals, this is by far the fastest team we've had.
Okay.
I mean, listen, these dudes, and I ain't being funny, yo. These dudes run so fast, my back start hurting. Because as fast as they run, I'm like, yo, my back hurt.
What is it? You got like a lot of young players?
I got some young guys. Some guys came over from different teams. Yeah, we wanted to keep our core, but get younger as well. I was like, because you can't really evolve without getting these young guys involved. And I mean, we got some pieces, man. Our quarterback is back. So offensively, this is by far the most explosive offense we've had in history of the team.
Wow.
So we'll see. We'll see what how that translate on Saturday. We play the Montgomery County Titans, and they're a fairly new team, but they have vets on their team as well. So we're gonna see. I think that because aside from this game, everybody else we play for the rest of the season has won the championship at one time or the other. So I mean, we got a gauntlet, you know. So I mean, we're ready for it. I'm ready for it. We just gotta play. We just gotta play, man. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But what you got? Anything this weekend?
Nah, man. I don't think I have anything going. So I might roll out to Baltimore, man.
Okay.
Check y'all out.
Come through. We play at 1 o'clock.
Okay. I don't think I'm doing anything Saturday, so I can check y'all out.
All right. Well, are we done?
We're done.
Good. I'm tired. I'm tired.
I hear you.
All right, man. It's Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Boy, Scotty B.
I don't lost the daggone psych.
Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo, and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sports.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.